Hello and good day, everyone. Our discussion for today will be about lying, deception, and fraud, addressing it as a social issue. So, these are our objectives for today. We will explore the definition of lying, deception, and fraud according to the church, how they are moral issues, and how Catholic social teaching responds to them. Well, first of all, for the past 2 years, most of us, if not all, have been used to this new normal setup since the pandemic started, like how employees are now using online means of communication when working at home, and how you as students are taking online classes from your homes. So moving on to the next slide, as we know, mass media is always used nowadays, mostly for news and social media updates, and also yung pag-aabang natin ng court trials. So in the news, we have seen cases of deception, scams, and digital fraud reported by citizens, authorities, and even the social media influencers, which were shared with the public to raise awareness. There are also issues circulating in social media about people lying to or lying about their partners, families, friends, and followers. And there are also the public court trials where one can witness that there are dishonesty in the evidence and testimonies presented to the jury, the judge, and everyone else, which can lead to unjust outcomes. Now, what is lying, deception, and fraud according to the church? So, stated in CCC 2482, the church defines a liar as speaking a falsehood with the intent of deceiving. The word denounces lying as the devil's work. So, if someone talks untruthfully to deceive another, their behavior is to be condemned, as it does truly cause harm to another, and the speaker is executing the work of the devil. With this, bearing false witness, being untruthful, are discouraged behaviors in Christianity, following the 8th of the 10 commandments of God: you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. This commandment is practiced in the daily lives of Christians and other religions, and is also implemented in court, wherein the witnesses and the accused will be cross-examined under oath. Now, according to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, or CCC 2464, in our relations with others, the 8th commandment prohibits us from distorting or altering the truth. This moral prescription comes from the holy people's calling to bear testimony to God, who is the truth and wills the truth. Now, what makes lying a moral problem? With the examples presented earlier, the deception reported in news, issues in social media, and lying in court, following the church's teachings, offenses against the truth show a failure to commit to moral uprightness by speech or deed, by words or in actions. They are basic unfaithfulness to God, and in this sense, weaken the covenant's foundations. So this unfaithfulness offends God when we continue to break the 8th commandment, opposing the conventional wisdom of love your neighbor as yourself. Now moving on to our last objective for today. How does the Catholic social teaching respond to the issue? As you can see in the slide, the following are the Catholic Church Catechism's multiple passages about this subject. To summarize, the passages talk about false witness and perjury, emphasizing that someone is guilty as he harms the reputation of other people, as they give false conclusions concerning them, that honor is a social witness to human dignity, and the purposeful aim to lead a neighbor astray by saying falsehood is a failure to serve justice and compassion. So in conclusion, by disobeying these teachings and values, we also disregard the principle that faith is social, as we violate the practices and values that were entrusted to us, the Church, by Jesus Christ Himself, for the sole purpose of reaching man's heart, and that their efficacy is guided by God, which is stated in the encyclical Rerum Novarum. So going back, as we place importance on imitating the life of Christ through discipleship and our faith in Him, we shall reflect on our actions in lying by asking, who am I and what ought I be and what ought I do? The Church's social mission must be rooted in and enhanced by our spiritual life, which we must embrace and consider. And we have reached the end of my presentation. Thank you so much, class, for listening for today's discussion. If you have any questions, concerns, and clarifications, feel free to DM me in the MS Teams chat. May God bless you all always.